Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Today I'll be talking about privacy by design for DevOps and data systems. I'm excited to show you how we can build secure and privacy respecting systems without sacrificing user usability. My name is Vivek Chittireddy. I'm a data engineer and I focus on privacy centric data architectures and real time streaming. I've spent many years working on privacy aware systems and infrastructure. And today at Conf42, DevOps 2026, we will dig into where privacy, compliance, and modern data ops and DevOps data engineering actually meet. This goes way beyond just ticking some boxes. It's about rethinking how we build our systems from the ground up. And as a quick disclaimer, this talk is no way affiliated with the company that I work for, and nothing presented here reflects my company's internal systems. I'm just sharing what I've learned from my own experience working with data and privacy. So, why does this matter? Right now there are more than 140 countries that have active privacy laws. And the average cost of data breach hit about $5 million in 2024. And that's the latest data that we have. And $5 million is a pretty big number. And here's something that's even more alarming. Researchers can re identify about 87% of Americans from just the zip code, date of birth, and gender. And this is not some distance theory. This is actually happening right now. Privacy isn't optional anymore. It's a hard requirement for any serious DevOps data system, both technically and for businesses. So, now what is privacy by design? Privacy by design is all about building privacy protections straight into your architecture right from the start. So, you're not trying to bolt it on at the end, you're starting it from the get go. And for DevOps developers, that means layering privacy controls at every stage of the data pipeline. From collecting data on the client side to storage backends to analytics to processing to deploying pipelines, you're ensuring that there is no data that is getting stored. There's no private data that's getting stored, and privacy needs to be baked from the get go. Let's talk about core privacy by design principles. So there are four privacy principles that I want to talk about. The first one is be proactive. So you anticipate and prevent privacy issues before they pop up. And the next thing is default to privacy. Give the users maximum protection automatically without needing them to change their settings. So if you are asking for users to change things so that they become private or their data becomes private, you're not doing something right. Third thing is make privacy a part of the design itself. So you're not doing privacy as a last minute add on to check off a few boxes, but from the get go, analyzing what data should be collected, what data should not be collected, whether a data collection would make sense for your product, but more than that, whether that collected data would cause any privacy issues should that data get into the wrong hands. So try to collect as little data as you possibly can. And finally, full functionality. So not only are you collecting little data, but while you're collecting little data, are your apps still working? Are your ops pipelines still working? Like, how can you do that? So let's talk about how this is possible. So the first one is let's talk about anonymization models. So key anonymity makes sure that every record in your datasets blends in with at least k minus one other records. For example, typical K is 50 for decent private systems. So if your data looks just like at least 49 others, then you're meeting k anonymity. And this works well for user analytics, especially when you do demographic analytics, but you don't want to expose individual data. And the second one is L diversity. This one takes it a bit more further. So it makes sure that even within those groups, there is a mix of sensitive attributes. And this is crucial for stuff like healthcare data, where you don't want anyone in a group sharing the same diagnosis. And let's talk about how this can be put in practice. Differential privacy is a little mathematical, but by adding carefully calibrated noise to your query results, you make sure that no one can tell if a specific person's data is in the mix. Epsilon data between zero point 0.1 and 1 give you strong privacy without ruining your stats. And the main idea here is you can't pick out individuals, but you still see overall trends. So DevOps has some great tools for this. Differential privacy. You can use Node.js to implement this, and you can even do local differential privacy in the browser. This way, you get useful analytics and your privacy stays protected. And let's talk about pseudo-anonymization and tokenization as the next slide. So pseudo-anonymization or tokenization are essential when you deal with personal data. So pseudo-anonymization swaps out identifying fields for pseudonyms. So you keep the links you need for analytics but hide real identities. And tokenization takes this further. It replaces sensitive data with the random tokens and stores real stuff in a separate secure vault. So you're delineating your data from one system to another, that everything is not sitting in one place. So somebody has to gain this additional access to go bring that data together. So your analytics will never touch actual PII, but you can still get insights. And if you ever need to, you re-identify the data, then you can go back and join that data. And you only do that for legitimate reasons like customer support. And then let's talk about a few advanced techniques. So if you really want to do cutting edge privacy, look at homomorphic encryption. It lets you run computations on encrypted data. You don't need to decrypt anything. So imagine running a machine learning model that stay accurate up to 95% while the data itself never gets exposed. And the second one is secure multi-party computation. This is basically you're sharing data to another system where that system processes a bunch of data and your system processes a bunch of data, and then you're sharing that across the board. And then let's talk about integrating AIs into DevOps pipelines, right? So data production impact assessments, DPIAs, is a continuous process. It's not a one-time exercise. And you embed these directly into your CI/CD pipelines and your workflows. Conduct automatic privacy scans and ensure that there's no PIN sensitive data that's getting pushed into code commits. You make sure that your pipelines are gated by requiring DPIA approval before deploying changes that process personal data. And you track these privacy metrics alongside your performance and security on a continuous mode. So you surface that on a daily level to find out what instances are occurring, how many accidental privacy pushes are happening into your pipelines. And the actionable architecture for privacy first systems is minimize the data, collect only what's necessary. I'm recapping what we discussed so far. So you collect only what's necessary, encrypt the data wherever possible, do role-based access control, and give access to the people who only would deserve it and need it, not deserve it per se, but need it. And finally, there is an automated compliance. You're not manually checking this stuff. It's happening automatically by itself. That's about it for this talk. I really appreciate you listening to this. Thank you so much, and good luck in building secure privacy compliant systems. Have a great day.